Welcome to Vision Forward's Tech Connect Live, connecting you to the world of assistive technology. And now, here are your hosts, Cory and Luke.
Hello, welcome everybody. I'm afraid that our intro just lied there because it said that we had Cory and Luke, and we don't. We just have Luke. Here I am. Well, that's actually also a lie. God, there's a lot of lies at the top of the show. I apologize. Because we also, in the background, have the one and only...
Yes, hello. This is producer Jonathan.
Producer Jonathan in the house. He is helping out behind the scenes. But otherwise, I am going to be running the show today. So please give me a little bit of leeway if anything goes wrong. It definitely wasn't my fault. It was probably Cory's fault. And you can make sure that you blame him on the next show in 2 weeks' time. But for the moment, I am going to do my best here to tell everybody about some exciting apps. Now, one of those we have covered before, probably multiple times, to be honest with you. It's the Seeing AI app. And of course, this has just had a redesign. And I don't think, as far as I can tell, there don't seem to be any new features specifically. However, there is a redesign to the interface, and I think the reason that they did this was to kind of integrate some of the AI stuff a little bit more into the app without making it so that you had to kind of search the AI stuff out. So we will be taking a look at that, but probably a fairly brief look because it is already a known quantity. The main thing that we're going to be looking at today is the EMVI app, EMVI, EMVI app. Now, I did actually talk about this app briefly, or Cory and I talked about it on a previous show. I think it might have been just before we went to the CSUN conference, because at the time we were kind of discussing what we wanted to see at CSUN. And their website, it was obviously hot off the press, their website at the time, because if anybody's ever created a website before with a kind of third-party service that basically has templates for you to use, they were obviously using one of those because most of the content on the website was just preset template stuff. Like they had a bunch of Latin as placeholder text on their website, and they had a bunch of placeholder images as well, which I was finding pretty hilarious. But luckily now their website has been fully updated with all of their information. You can visit their website if you feel inclined to do so at emvi.ai. That's emvi.ai. And that will tell you a little bit about the app. However, if you really want to find out about the app, well, obviously, watch the show today. I'm going to be going through it, but then why not download it for yourself as well and try it out? And it is another AI app. There is a bunch of these things coming out recently. And, you know, that's good because this AI stuff is pretty useful and pretty easy to use for the most part, and I would say that the EMVI app is definitely one of the easier apps if you want to start doing some AI stuff. However, it does have a few quirks from my experience with it, so we're going to be going through those today. But in the meantime, I will say hello to some people in the chat here. We have Alicia Green, of course, coming to us from Rockford, Illinois. Hello, Alicia. Thank you for jumping into the chat and being a very dedicated viewer of the channel. We appreciate it. And somebody called No Eyesight says hi and gives us a wave as well. So hello, No Eyesight, and thank you for joining us. And if you would like to participate, then of course you can write into the chat too. And we would love to hear any comments as we go along here. Let us know what you think about the app, whether you're already using the EMVI app or the Seeing AI app, or anything else which comes into your head, including jokes. We used to solicit a lot of jokes on this channel, and I don't think we have as many anymore, which is a shame. So please do put any jokes that you have into the chat, as long as they're suitable for work. I don't want anything rude. I just want nice, wholesome family jokes. We also have e-learning with Erica saying hello, hello. And Harpreet is here as well. Says, just purchased the Meta Ray-Ban. They'll be ready within 6 weeks. Okay, that seems like a long time, but now I understand why, because he goes on to say they are specialized for my prescription. It's plus 18 prescription. Wow. So yeah, I could see why those are specialized. I actually have around a plus 9. Prescription, so you're double the power of my lenses there, Harpreet. E-learning with Erica also says, I love Seeing AI and the Meta glasses. So we're already getting some love for AI stuff here in the chat, which is nice. I think a lot of the AI stuff has really had a big impact in the community, particularly the Meta glasses. I mean, with the price that those things are, we're talking $299 for the cheapest pair, and what they can do, I mean, they're a fantastic device, like really good. So I can see why those have been particularly popular in the low vision and blindness community. Alicia Green says, I appreciate you so much. I learned so much about technology every week that I can apply to my daily living skills. Thank you, Alicia. It's really nice to hear that we are having a positive impact on you, and we will continue to do our best to bring you the latest technology tips and tricks, hopefully with Cory as well in tow. I feel like I've done a lot of these shows on my own at this point. I don't know. Maybe I should just strike out on my own. Maybe it's time to have Learning with Luke, the new YouTube sensation. Let us know what you think in the chat there. And also, e-learning with Erica says, looking forward to learning more about EMVI. Well, let's just go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Rather than me twittering on, or should I say Xing on at this point? Who knows? Who knows what the correct terminology is anymore? Language is strange, it turns out. So, EMVI, E-M-V-I. Do we say it EMVI or do we say it EMVI? I have no idea.
I like EMVI because it sounds like AI.
That's a good point, actually. That's probably what it is. What does it stand for? Nobody knows. Not even the developers. Nobody knows. But it doesn't matter, because the main thing is, what can it do for you? What you're going to want to do if you want to try this app is go to the App Store. It doesn't matter if you're Android or iPhone. You can go to the App Store and search for EMVI and go ahead and give it a download. Now, I will say up the top here, straight away, that this is a paid service. However, there must be a free component because I'm using it for free, I think. Unless I paid for it. I don't think I did. Who knows? I think you get a certain amount of time for free. Hello, Shirley, in the chat. Thank you for joining us. I think we get a certain amount of time with the app for free, but after that, you have to pay. Now, I did, of course, have up the prices, and now, of course, I don't anymore. Let me bring them back up here. All right, so monthly plan is $4.99. Annual plan is $59.99. Lifetime plan is $200. Now, that might be a bit of a sting if you are used to using free apps, because a lot of these apps, Seeing AI, for example, Envision AI, what else have we looked at?
They're all free.
They're all free, yeah. There's more AI I'm forgetting. But anyway, the apps that we've looked at are generally free, and this one isn't. So does it justify its price tag? Well, we'll take a look as we look at the app here. We just got in the chat, Alicia says, you, Cory, and Jonathan are a winning team. Don't mess it up. So I guess I can't strike out on my own then. It's been decided.
One thing that I just saw on their website, and this might be particularly exciting to you, Luke,
okay,
is that EMVI has 100% GDPR, which is general data protection regulation.
Oh.
So like they are a closed system where they're not going to be as leaky as a lot of those other
Now,
AIs.
the question is that true or is that just techno-babble?
But they do say it.
For those who were participating in the console wars in the 90s and were choosing between Sega and Nintendo, you may remember Sega's claim of blast processing that made Sonic run faster than Mario ever could. Was this true? No, it wasn't true. It was just techno-babble. So you have to be careful of the techno-babble. Cory has joined us in the chat. He said he was just too busy to be on the show, but apparently he's not too busy to be in the chat here. So
yeah, he's excited about EMVI.
He said, "I feel envy that you get to talk about EMVI," and this is why he's not on the show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Phonetic. I didn't even read it.
Yeah, this is why he's not on the show, because jokes like this, we just decided we just couldn't do it anymore. We had to just have him in the chat from now on. Harpreet says, "Is it going to be $5 Canadian?" Harpreet, I'm sorry, I have no idea what the Canadian price is. Okay, let's jump into it. So I've got EMVI on my phone here. I'm going to open it up now. Actually, what I'll do here, real quick, is I'll turn on VoiceOver as well. And this app is VoiceOver compatible. You will be glad to know. But I have had a few issues with using VoiceOver with this app. Now, first of all, the first screen that we come to, there is a settings cogwheel in the top left-hand corner. And we are focused on that immediately as we open the app. I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings real quick. There's not a ton in the settings, but there is one thing which, if we're using VoiceOver, we may want to be aware of. I'm going to swipe to it.
Settings page, account detail, dark theme, voiceover mode, switch button, on.
And we have VoiceOver.
Double tap to toggle setting.
Thank you, sorry. Thank you, VoiceOver. We have VoiceOver mode, and we have a toggle switch here for VoiceOver. And I've turned this on. It was not turned on by default. However, I tried the app with and without this toggle switch using VoiceOver, and it seemed to work the same. I'm probably missing something. I can't say for sure, but I will say, if you are a VoiceOver user, you should probably toggle the switch on because, I mean, it's called VoiceOver mode. So, with that toggled on, let's go back to the main screen of the app. Okay, and we are here on the main page of the app. Tai Tomasi, says, "I appreciate GDPR compliance if true." Yes, agreed. So, this app, one of the features of it that I think they're going for is simplicity of use. And this is even more true if you're not a VoiceOver user. It's even more simple to use. There are 4 sections to the app, and with VoiceOver on, those can be navigated with a 3-finger swipe.
Start scanning a document.
So we'll go back to the first option. And here's one of the issues with VoiceOver that I've already encountered. I did a 3-finger swipe back to the first option, and VoiceOver didn't say anything. Now, it should have told me what mode I had just gone into. I can easily rectify this just by tapping on the screen in the middle, and it will tell me what mode I'm in. But VoiceOver doesn't always seem to keep up as we're 3-finger swiping through the different screens here, so that's something to bear in mind. However, first screen, take picture, pretty straightforward. Now I've 3-finger swiped to the next option. Again, VoiceOver hasn't said anything. I'm just going to tap on the screen.
Start scanning a document button.
Here we have start scanning a document. Let me 3-finger swipe to the next option. Again, VoiceOver hasn't told me. Now, sometimes it will. Sometimes it won't. So again, it seems to be not 100% perfect right now.
Start scanning a code button.
Start scanning a code. Here's one of the interesting things we can do with this. This will do barcodes, but also QR codes, which I'm not sure I've seen that anywhere else. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and swipe again.
Start asking your question.
And start asking your question. So these are the main things we can do with this app. Number one, we can take a picture of anything, and it will go ahead and describe it to us. Number two, we can go ahead and take a picture of a document and have the document read out loud. Number three, we can scan a QR code or a barcode and get a description. And then number four, we can ask a question. Now, actually, if we take a picture of a document, it will automatically take us to the screen where we can then go ahead and ask our question. And so once we've taken the image, then we can start to ask questions, as we can with all of these other AI-type apps. But it will automatically take you there, and this is all voice activated. And so we're not looking for an edit field. We're not having to worry about a keyboard or anything like that. Whenever we take the picture, then we can ask our question with our voice. And it's very easy to do so. It's going to take us to the place where we can ask that question. With VoiceOver, we can do a double tap to start asking the question. And without VoiceOver, we can do a single tap on the screen. So I think they're going for simplicity, ease of use. But there's also a couple of other things that they're doing which are kind of strange, but maybe cool. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and go to the picture first.
Start scanning a code button. Start scanning a document button. Start taking a picture button.
And here we are where we can take a picture. Now, this, if you've seen other AI apps, it's going to be very familiar. Okay, we can take a picture of things, then we can have them described to us. However, one thing that's different, and I think is cool, is it won't automatically start describing the picture to us. Instead, it's going to take the picture and then take us to where we can ask the question. And it's not going to do anything until we ask the question. So rather than just assuming we want a description of the picture that we've taken, it's instead going to wait for us to ask a question about the picture. And I think this is kind of good because oftentimes when we're taking the picture, we don't want to get that description straight up. We just want to know something specific about what is in the picture. So this is different to other apps, and I think it's a good idea. Now, I'm going to take a picture of Jonathan because one of the things that they kind of promote on their website is expression description. It's able to describe the expressions that people are pulling. Now, honestly, I think that you can do this with your other apps as well. But since they have it on their website as a thing, let's go ahead and give it a try. So I will have to pick up the phone for this. Jonathan is sat in the background here. I'm going to double tap to activate the camera. We'll get a countdown from 3 to 0, at which point it will take the picture and then move me over to where I can ask a question about the picture. So here I go. I'll do the double tap.
Cancel automatically taking a picture. Photo captured. Start asking. How can I help you with this image?
All right, so it took the picture. It said, it took me to where I can ask the question. It says, how can I help you with this image? So at this point, I can ask my question. Now, Jonathan was quite a long way away, so we'll have to see whether it got enough visual information to answer the question. I'm going to double tap and ask what expression he was pulling. When we finish asking the question, we can double tap to stop the microphone, and it will send the question off. So here we go.
Finish your question.
What expression was the person pulling in this photo?
Finish your question. The person in the image has a relaxed and engaged expression, suggesting they might be focused on their work or a conversation.
Okay, so that's what it got. Jonathan, please could you describe your expression?
Yeah, so I thought I timed it correctly, but when it was actually taking its photo, at least according to like when we heard it,
yeah,
I was making a shocked expression or surprised, not focused and sort of like intent.
Okay.
So perhaps it took the photo like somehow not timed right, or I timed my expression wrong.
Okay.
We could try it again if you want.
Let's try it one more time.
This one I might go with something a little easier for it to understand.
And Jonathan, why don't you come a little bit closer so we can get you larger?
That could well be the problem.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to try the same experiment again, different expression. Jonathan's come a little bit closer. We're going to go ahead and take the picture.
3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Photo captured.
All right.
Can I help you with this image?
So same thing again. I'm just going to ask what expression the person was pulling.
Finish your question.
What expression was the person pulling in this photo?
Finish your question. The person in the photo is smiling, which gives a sense of friendliness and approachability.
Okay, and indeed he was smiling, and I'm assuming that he was friendly and approachable.
I was literally closer to you.
Very good. Okay, so there we go. So we can obviously get some kind of description about expressions here. Whether it's going to be accurate or not, I mean, you know, it's kind of difficult to say. I think sometimes, the feature works. From my testing, I would say sometimes it's pretty accurate, other times not so much. But obviously we can ask any question about the picture. And so, you know, anything that we want to know. We take a picture of some chairs and ask if any of them are available. We take a picture of a piece of artwork and ask about the artwork. And actually, we are going to do that because this is another thing that they tout to the ability to describe artwork. Now, again, I think any of the AI engines are able to do this, but since they tout it on their website, let's go ahead and give it a try. I have my computer here. Now, I'm going to try actually and lift up my computer and put this underneath the camera. So for those who are able to see, they can see the picture that we're going to have described. And then I'm going to take a picture of it, and we're going to have the app here describe this piece of artwork, and then we'll see how it did. So I'm going to flip it back over to the screen with the camera.
One thing I thought
Start taking a picture.
could we have it take a photo of like a certain cord of like, oh, is this a USB?
Oh, I like that.
Or is this a micro USB?
We can, if you could find us a call, Jonathan. I will happily try that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this piece of artwork.
3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Photo captured. Start How can I help you with this image? Button.
Okay, so it did the same thing. Now we can ask our question. I'm going to ask it to describe the artwork.
Finish your question.
Could you describe the artwork in this image?
Finish your question.
Now, it was supposed to be processing, and then it stopped. So it didn't seem to work. Let's try it again.
Start asking your question.
Can you describe the artwork in this picture?
Finish your question.
Okay, doesn't seem to be working. Now, I don't think we have any internet connectivity issues, which would be the only thing that I could think of that would stop it from working properly. So it's a little bit strange here that it stopped working. We're going to try it one more time. I'm going to flip back over to the camera.
Start scanning a code. Button. Start scanning. Start taking settings.
Okay,
Button.
I'm going to take another picture here.
Start taking a picture. Button. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Photo captured. Start How can I help you with this image? Button.
Okay, so we've captured the picture. Let's go ahead and ask what is in the picture.
Finish your question.
Can you describe this artwork for me?
Finish your question.
Now it's
The
processing.
artwork is a surreal digital portrait on a laptop screen, featuring a person with bright pink, wavy hair. The background is a vibrant blue with floating abstract shapes, such as pink spheres and a spiky object resembling a sea creature. The person's makeup has bold colors, with blue and pink patches on the face, and they hold a blue cup with a cloud-like dessert. They wear a yellow garment, creating a whimsical and playful mood.
Okay, it did a great job of describing the picture, and it also gives us a feeling of the atmosphere of the picture as well. You know, it gives us the mood of the piece. So not only is it describing what it looks like, but it's trying to give us an idea of the emotions that the picture might invoke. So it seems to work pretty well for this type of thing. But again, I'm not sure it's doing anything that other apps wouldn't necessarily. And so I don't think, you know, if you're paying specifically for this feature, I think you could still do this stuff for free. But seems to work good. We'll do one more test real quick here with the cable.
Start scanning a code. Start scanning a code. Start scanning a document. Start settings. Button.
No, this will be fine. Okay. So here we have a cord. I will say straight up that this is an HDMI cord, and we're going to take a picture of the one end of it, and we'll see whether it's able to be identified. Now, this would be pretty tricky test, I think. So let's see how it does here.
Start take 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Photo captured. Start How can I help you with this image? Button.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and ask what type of cable this is.
Finish your question.
What type of cable is in this picture?
Finish your question. The image shows a black HDMI cable with a braided texture and a gold-colored connector. The brand name Rocketfish is on the black casing part of the cable.
That was really amazingly impressive because it's not super obvious when we just are looking at the top of the cable what type of connector that is. So yeah, definitely could be some useful applications there. All right, let's end that section there because I don't want to spend the rest of our time doing that. I want to take a look at the document section.
Start asking your question. Button. Start scanning a document.
Okay, so here we can scan a document and have the document read aloud. Now, I have found this feature to be very strange because, well, let's give it a try first and then we'll discuss. I have a book here. This is, of course, the classic book by Jacques Vallée, UFOs in Space. Let us know in the chat if you have read this book. And we're going to go ahead and take a picture of it. So we're in the document mode. I'm going to double tap. The camera will come on, and I'll be able to position my page and take a picture of it.
3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Start asking your question. Button. The text appears to be largely incoherent due to errors in recognition. However, here's a refined version of the extract to make it clearer. On UFO behavior, numerous sightings were believed to be due to UFOs or perhaps some electrical phenomenon.
Now I'm going to stop it there because it told me that it couldn't read the text, and then it basically gave me a version of the text which was not reading the text. So it was just like, here's what I think this page is about. Now, we didn't have to ask any questions in this mode. It's going to automatically start to do its reading. I'm going to try this again and try and get the pages a little bit flatter. Okay. So we'll go ahead and
Start
swipe.
scanning a code button.
Okay, let me see if I can get this nice and flat, and we'll try this again.
Start scanning a code. Start scanning a document button. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Start asking your question button.
Okay, now it's processing. We'll see what it gets this time.
Phases of UFO behavior. Interest had been educational work. Hardly, in an interview with Australian media, thought UFOs were a figment of imagination or some electrical phenomenon. The interview continues as follows. The first sighting occurred over Walmer, 5 miles from us. It was observed by Dr. Ken Houston at a place called Wimmera, near Taggers, in late November of last year, at Bogene itself, where I am working. The first record.
Okay, so I just stopped it there. It sounded like that it was reading the page. You agree, Jonathan?
It sounded, those are all words I would have associated with that book without having read it.
Yeah, didn't say it wasn't reading the page. It just started to read, and it sounded as if it didn't sound like it was a summary. It sounded like it was reading word for word. It wasn't reading word for word. It was making it up. And this is the craziest thing. Every time I've tried to use this, it takes a picture of the page, reinterprets it into different language, and then reads it to you as if it's reading the actual page. I assume this is a deliberate feature, but why? I just can't understand why you would want this. Like, presumably, if you're using the document mode, you want to hear the actual words of the document. I mean, you'll probably maybe still get the information that you want, but if you're reading a book, do you want to read the actual book, or do you want to read an AI interpretation of the book? I'm going to say you probably want to read the book. So I don't know what's going on here. It's kind of weird. And I'm not sure I am a big fan, unfortunately. So anyway, that's the book mode. Like I say, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but every time I've tried it, this is what it's doing. From the chat here, No Eyesight says, how far have you been able to scan the document or take a picture of something where it can be any distance? That's a fantastic question. Thank you for asking. We're going to try it right now. So on the wall, we have a sign that is approximately 15 feet away. And it's fairly large print, but this is
Probably
what...
about 30 feet away.
Oh, about 30 feet, according to Jonathan. Okay, it's fairly large print, but this is what we have to work with because I'm stuck at this table here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of it, and we'll see if it gives us anything here. I'll hold up the phone. We'll do a double tap here.
Start scanning a code.
And now that's not what I want to do.
Start scan.
Okay,
3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. Technology possibility question button.
Okay, so it did read it to us there. It said technology possibility. Now it missed the word creates. So on the wall it says technology creates possibility, but the creates is quite a bit smaller than the technology and the possibility words.
It's also a very different font.
Very different font, yes. So yes, we can read at distance, and I think you probably could have done that not in the document mode, just in the regular picture mode as well, and just asked if there was any text there. The cool thing about this is the wall, compared to where we are, is at an angle sloping away from us. And so despite the fact that the text was at an angle and obviously a distance away, it was still able to read it. So pretty good stuff. It didn't make anything up that time, so that was definitely a benefit. So anyway, there's our reading mode. A little bit odd, you know, but there you go. That's how it works. Let's check out now.
Start scanning a code button.
The code scanning. And this is also a little bit strange, kind of in a cool way, kind of also not. What we're going to do here, now we're not going to do QR codes, but if we do a QR code, it will tell us the URL that it's going to go to. So you can kind of double check what URL you're going to go to using that QR code. What we're going to do though is barcode scanning. I have a bottle of water. Now I will tell you up front, this is Ice Mountain water. And I'm going to go ahead and scan the barcode and we'll see what it tells us. So here we go.
Button.
So it saw the barcode.
Start asking your question button.
We're just going to wait for it to process.
Introducing 100% natural spring water, a pure and refreshing choice for hydration. Sourced from pristine springs, this water is completely free from artificial additives and sweeteners, ensuring the highest standard of natural purity. It boasts a Nutri-Score grade of A, marking it as an excellent choice for health-conscious individuals. With 0 calories, sugars, or fats. It's the perfect beverage to quench your thirst without affecting your diet. Ideal for those who prioritize natural ingredients and a clean, crisp taste in their daily hydration routine. Enjoy the essence of nature in every sip with this simple, yet essential product.
When I first tried this, I was so confused. Okay, so this bottle of water, if you were listening carefully, it never gave us the name of it. Okay, so like presumably when you scan a barcode, you probably want to know the name of the product that you just scanned the barcode of, right? Because you're trying to identify the barcode. Now we do know it's spring water. That was made quite obvious, but we don't know what particular brand. It never told us. And I was just wondering, where is it getting this information from? It's a sales blurb. We are hearing a sales blurb here. And so I was talking to Cory about this, and what we think is happening here is it's pulling the data of this product from a retail website. Now, I don't know what website, but another product that I tried, it actually gave me the Walmart price. At the end of the description, it told me how much the Walmart price was. So I'm wondering, is it just going out to Walmart and pulling in descriptions of the product from there? It kind of seems like maybe yes, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's weird, but it's also kind of good because we do get a lot of information. It's not just, it's not just telling us what the product is. It's giving us kind of a detailed description, but that description may or may not be good depending on what's in the description. In this case, it was giving us a bunch of sales talk that we might not be interested in. And No Eyesight in the chat says something very relevant here. Didn't give us how many ounces or if it's powder or liquid. Now, I guess we could check if it's liquid by picking up the bottle and giving it a squeeze. And maybe we could figure out how many ounces it is as well. But yeah, I mean, why is it not giving us this important information? It's giving us a bunch of other information. Now, I will say with the other products that I tried, and I honestly forget what it was now, but it did give us a lot more relevant information there. But it seems like it's going to be dependent on how those descriptions are written on whatever website EMVI is pulling the information from. Taitamasi says, brand and product name are essential for this feature. I got to agree with you. And again, I'm not saying it will never give you the name of the product, because on another product that I tried, it will, but it's going to be dependent on whether that is in the description or not. And so again, this app is doing things in different ways, which on the one hand, I think are kind of cool, but on the other hand, I think are kind of weird. So, whether it's giving you what you want, I think that's going to be a determining factor. Now, I will say the plus points for this app, in my opinion, are primarily the ease of use. It's very easy to use. We're really just swiping between the different features, and when we take a picture, it's either giving us the information that we want. So if we're in the document mode, it's going to start reading the document. If we're in the QR or the barcode mode, it's going to give us that information. Or if we're just in the camera mode, it's going to take us through to where we can ask a question. And so it's kind of doing a lot of the work for us. We don't have to be super advanced phone users, particularly if we're not using VoiceOver. And in terms of the visual interface for this app, everything is just large and in the center. Everything that you need is large and in the center and high contrast and easy to navigate between. So without VoiceOver, let me just turn off VoiceOver real quick here.
Alert, selector.
So without VoiceOver, we're literally using one finger to swipe between these different modes and then just tapping in the middle of the screen to activate the mode. So here I'm in the camera mode. If I wanted to activate it and take a picture, I just tap in the middle of the screen. If I'm in the book mode, tap in the middle of the screen to take a picture of the book. If I'm in the QR mode, tap in the middle of the screen to take a picture. And if I'm in the mode where we can ask questions, tap in the middle of the screen to ask the question. So this is what they're going for. I think they're kind of differentiating themselves through simplicity. And I think that's really cool. Like, I think the interface is good, but some of the AI stuff that they've got going on, a little bit strange. So that's what I think about the EMVI app, but I don't know what anybody else thinks. So if anybody has any opinions, please feel free to put them down in the chat there. And if you have tried the app, please put it down in the chat and let us know what you think. And if I'm doing something wrong, put it down in the chat, please. This is an opportunity for everybody to learn. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the Seeing AI app, and we'll take a look at how that's changed.
So, fun fact about that Ice Mountain 100% spring water.
Yeah.
It is groundwater from Michigan.
Okay, there we go. If you want to, now wasn't Was it Michigan where they had the issues with lead in the water, or was that?
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan, yeah. Okay, I'll let you guys decide whether you want to buy Ice Mountain or not. So let's go ahead and look at the Seeing AI app. And I don't have too much to say about this, but they've kind of redesigned it. Just before we move on, Titamasi, unfortunately, the EMVI app does not seem to do anything that existing apps do not already do for free. I agree. And you've got to remember, like, all of these apps, they're using AI. And yeah, I mean, you can probably tailor the responses to some degree, but everybody's using the same platforms here. And so, how do you differentiate yourself? I think EMVI are doing it through the design, and good on them. It's a good design. But yeah, if you're already using an AI app, I'm not sure that getting EMVI and paying for it is something that's going to be on your radar necessarily. Okay, let's take a quick look at Seeing AI. So they have redesigned this and potentially made it worse or maybe better. I'm not sure. So at the bottom of the screen now, we have just 3 options. So there used to be the channel switcher there, where we would move between the different channels. The channels being things like the short text, where it would instantly read. We also had the document mode, where we could read documents. We had currency identification and people identification, and all of those other things. So those used to be down at the bottom in the channel selector. Now we have just 3 options down at the bottom. We have read, describe, and more. So it seems that they've tried to simplify the interface. And the first option, read, is what we will be on when we first open the app. So what we can do in the read option here, we can do the short text, instant reading, and we can also do the document as well. So by default, it's going to be on the instant reading. If I go ahead and open it, bring it up here.
Non-fiction, Anonomenon for Last, a book that evaluates the massive body of myth and legend from the penetrating describe.
And so it just automatically started to read, which it would do that before. It always opened on that short text mode. But now we don't have a separate mode for reading a document. We can actually use
read, anatomy of,
just the read option. And we can either take a picture manually with the white circle, or
hold steady.
There, and I don't want to do that right now. There is an icon. Oh, I captured a picture there. Or there is an icon at the bottom left, or toward the bottom left, which will put us into the document mode. Now, let me turn on VoiceOver here.
VoiceOver selected on. Seeing AI.
Okay, so if we are in, we open the app, we're in the read mode, it's going to give us the instant reading. And we can feel toward the bottom left.
Document detection off button.
And look for document detection.
Double tap to turn off.
Which will be off by default. And if we wanted to turn it on, we could double tap. And I'll just move the phone here. If we want to turn it on, we can double tap.
Document detection on.
Now document detection is on, and now we can do lifting the phone above, and when it detects the page, it will automatically take a picture.
Processing. Cancel. Button.
And it will do the processing, and then bring up the text on the screen exactly as it used to do.
Seeing AI. Back.
And so the difference here is that rather than having a separate channel for doing document detection, it's built into this read channel that we have.
Back. Also by shock. Back. Button. Back.
So whether that's easy or not, I don't really know. It's kind of up to the users to decide. In a way, I think it's a little more confusing, to be honest with you. That channel selector, I think, was pretty easy to operate, and it was very clear exactly what mode you were using. And by kind of squishing together some of these modes, it's potentially made it a little more confusing. One thing I do like, though, is the describe mode. So that's going to be down at the bottom.
Tab bar. Describe. Tab.
Double tap
Selected.
on that.
Describe. Tab. 2 of 3.
And so this describe mode is pretty similar. It's bunched together different things into the one mode. And so what we have in here is we can take a picture of the environment and get an AI description. We can also do people recognition in this mode as well. And again, down toward the bottom left,
face recognition button.
We have that face recognition option that used to be a separate option within the channel selector. Now it's part of the describe mode. But one thing I do like about this is they have integrated the AI into this describe mode in a nice way. So previously, whenever we were taking a picture using the, I forget what they call it, but it was like maybe what did they call that mode? The image mode, the description, what did they call it? Anyway, whatever. When we were using the mode before where we could take a picture and then get a description, The first time we took the picture, it would just give us a couple of lines, very basic description, and then if we wanted to get more, we had to then send that image out to the AI. It would reprocess it. It would give us a more detailed description. They've got rid of that now. As soon as we take a picture in this describe mode, it's going to give us an AI description straight away. So we'll have a lot more detail immediately. Let's just give it a try. I'll take a picture of Jonathan again.
One face recognition. Done. Close. Back.
Let's try that one more time here.
One face near center.
Okay, here we go.
Cancel button.
So it took the picture of Jonathan, and it should give us an AI description straight away without us having to do anything else.
Seeing AI. The image depicts a room with a person seated at a desk, working on a computer.
It's you.
The individual is wearing a green shirt and blue jeans.
True story.
And is seated on a rolling office chair. The desk is equipped with 2 monitors, one of which displays text.
And I'll go ahead and stop it there, but it's going to give us this very detailed description. So rather than us having to take these additional steps to get that description, it's just presenting that information to us straight away. I do think that's a good idea. Makes the process a little bit easier, and so why not? Let me go back here. So all of the other features now are nestled under this third option down at the bottom, which is the More option.
Tab bar, More, tab.
And so we can hear we've got this tab bar. This tab bar is a very familiar thing if you're used to using apps on an iPhone. The tab bar is often at the bottom of an app there. So in that way, at least it should be familiar. Let me go into the More options here.
Selected, More, tab, 3 of 3.
When we open the More options, we then get that traditional channel selector underneath the tab bar.
Channel, product, adjustable.
And
Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust.
It's navigated in the same way as it would have used to have been by swiping up and down with one finger. So we can still open up that channel selector, but there's no option in there for short text or for document mode, or for taking a picture of the environment. Those options now are nestled under Read and Describe in the tab bar, and then the channel selector is under More. It's a little bit confusing, to be honest with you, and I think it could have been a little bit better. So if you've got Seeing AI, and presumably it will have updated and it might have changed like this, just be aware this is the new layout. I don't know it's necessarily easier, but I guess we have to move with the times either way. So still a great app. It's free. If you are not familiar with this app, and I'm sure everybody is, but if you're not, then we do have previous videos on it, and I'm sure that Jonathan can find one of those and put it in the chat. But it's a great app, and it does a lot of the stuff, or all of the stuff really, that the EMVI does for free. However, the interface I do think is a little bit more complicated, especially now. So that's something to bear in mind. If you do struggle with your phone, but you want to try the AI stuff, then the EMVI might be a good route to go down. And Harpreet says, how do these apps compare to Meta AI? That's a great question. And I'd love to know thoughts of people who own the Meta glasses. I'd love to know some thoughts in the chat, whether you are using the Meta glasses for everything or whether you're using some other apps on your phone. All right, be quiet. Whether you're using some other apps on your phone, and if you are, why? I would be interested to know. Now, I will say from my personal experience, the Meta glasses are a little bit different from a lot of these apps because they tend to err on the side of giving you less information until you ask for it. And so if we, ask the Meta glasses to describe something that's in front of us, we'll get a description, but it will not be super wordy. It'll be fairly short and concise, and maybe that's exactly what you want, but maybe you're not getting the information that you want, and so now you have to ask follow-up questions. And asking those follow-up questions, you will most likely get the information that you want, but it's a little bit more work on your end. Now, I will say the Meta glasses have got really the easiest interface because it's all purely speech. And so once you've set up the glasses, and that is potentially a little bit complicated depending on how comfortable you are with your phone. But once you do have them set up, at this point now you are doing most things just by talking to the glasses, especially when it comes to the AI stuff. We're really just giving voice commands and talking to the glasses. So it's a really nice, easy user interface. I think anybody of any skill level is able to utilize the Meta glasses, and they are super helpful for reading, for identifying things, even for connecting to sighted volunteers through Be My Eyes and so on and so forth. And of course, we have videos on the Meta glasses as well. So you should be watching this on YouTube. If you're not, I don't know where you're watching it, but assuming that you are watching on YouTube, you must be watching it on our channel. And on our channel, we have a bunch of videos about all sorts of things, including of course, the Meta glasses. From the chat here, Tai Tamasi, Meta cannot read full content and provide summaries similar to what you've demonstrated with the book earlier. Now, Tai, that's not true anymore. I think that might have been the case when they first released, because we did a video on them and we were having a lot of trouble getting them to read word for word. But I will say, whatever version of the software they're running now, they will read word for word if you ask them to. So a command that I've had success with is read all of the words on this document. Now, there might be more concise ways of asking this, but that seems to have been working for me. I've tried it a number of times with other clients as well, and it has indeed read word for word whatever document we're looking at. So if you have the Meta glasses, I would suggest updating them to the latest version of the software and giving it a try. They seem to do a great job with that at the moment. Harpreet, how would it work if we ask what car is in front of me? Harpreet, if there's a moving car in front of you, I don't think you want to spend the time to take the picture and get a response. However, if you're talking about a car that's still, then I would suspect that they should be able to give you the make and model of that car. Possibly even the number plate if you ask as well.
It might even be able to tell you whether or not it's a doozy.
Well, if it is a doozy, then you might be at Volo Car Museum.
You might happen to be there.
Yeah, because they have a lot of doozies there. And if you live in the Illinois area, especially in the northern Illinois area, Volo Car Museum is an awesome place to visit. So why not go ahead and do that? Let's see. Tai Tamasi, Meta glasses also hallucinate content that is not there. Yeah, and AI hallucination is an issue, I think, with all of these things to some extent. So, depending on how vital the information is, if it has to be 100% accuracy because of safety concerns or anything else, then at least with the Meta glasses, you can always utilize a sighted volunteer as well. And that would be through the Be My Eyes integration. But no, it's a great point. We cannot 100% trust AI for sure. No eyesight. There's something that these apps never tell you or have, because I like to walk at night, I don't like the sun, and none of them could work well in low light situations. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a great point. That's obviously because they're utilizing the camera on whatever device that you have. So whether it be a smartphone or the Meta glasses, Envision glasses, whatever, they are all based around using the camera. And as we all know, cameras do not work well in low light conditions. And so that's really a great point.
Some of the wearables we just tested recently
that
worked
is
quite
true,
well.
Yeah. So no eyesight in 2 weeks. No, next week, next Thursday,
yeah.
in a week's time, 1 week's time. We will be releasing a video on a second video in our wearables shootout kind of duo. So we released the last one last Thursday. And the one that we're releasing on Thursday, we do put some low vision wearables through their paces in low light conditions. So the three devices that we compare are the Maggie IVR, the Idaptic i5, and also the eSight Go. Test them all in low light conditions with a person who has a visual impairment. And if you want to check out how those perform, then you can watch that video when it releases next Thursday. Now, I know that's not AI per se, although the Idaptic does have AI built in, but we weren't able to test that because we don't have that capability with our device. But yeah, those are low vision wearables designed to enhance your vision. And so, maybe one of those would be good.
Slight
you can check out the video.
spoilers on that. I think all of them worked, like she was able to see much better when the lights were off. In a low light situation.
You've just given away the secret, Jonathan.
Oh no.
So now nobody needs to watch the video anymore.
They don't know how dramatic it is.
That is true. Yeah, we can say that they all worked well in low light conditions. Surprisingly well. Tai Tamasi, glad to know they have fixed that issue. Yes, it really does make them a lot more flexible, the Meta glasses now for reading standard print. Great device. I know the show isn't about the Meta glasses, but I do really like them. I think they're pretty fantastic. I keep on seeing like hearts appearing. I don't know what's going on. There are hearts appearing in the chat all the time. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what they mean. Nice. It's nice though. I'm glad to see the hearts. If you are the one who's making these hearts appear, please continue to do so. It's very nice. Maybe it happens automatically. I have no idea. Anyway, I have a sore throat. I have a busy rest of the day. I have many clients and I need to eat my lunch. So I think it's time to knock this show on the head. But thank you everybody for joining us. I do have some news. It's not super relevant yet, but we are probably going to go back to streaming these shows through Zoom instead of YouTube. And we'll let everybody know when that happens. We will have a link where people can register. If you already have registered for the Zoom show in the past, because we used to do it on Zoom, then I think your registration will still work. But anyway, this is just to let people know. This won't be happening super soon. We will let everybody know in more detail as we go on. Now, actually, one of the reasons that we're doing this is because we weren't getting a ton of comments. Well, that's the thing, yeah. So we weren't getting a ton of comments on YouTube, and we wondered whether it's because you have to have an account on YouTube in order to comment, and whether people were struggling, with creating accounts and knowing how to comment on YouTube.
And there's a question of how easy is it to get to the live stream comment section.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So
using a screen reader.
just in general, is it harder than using Zoom? But this show, we've had a lot of comments, so maybe the secret all along was just not having Cory on the show. I think we need to do further testing in this area and see what happens. But thank you, everybody, for your comments today. It really does make a difference to us because it helps us to know that you are engaged and enjoying the content. And also, it honestly just helps us with the show, having people ask questions, and it makes us think about things differently, and it helps us to have more things to talk about. So it's really useful. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been a great show. And again, check out the channel next Thursday for the second part of our wearables video. And then the week after that, so 2 weeks from today, we will be back with another live show. So everybody have a great one. I'm going to try and press all the right buttons here to do this outro properly. We'll see how it goes. But everybody have a great time, and we will see you all soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for joining us for another Tech Connect Live. If you enjoyed Cory and Luke's antics, be sure to join us next time. For all things Tech Connect, go to vision-forward.org/techconnect.